Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a few more items to add to the hidden features list since it's a very popular thing. So we'll start out with some modifications to the charge port cover updates. So after it rained, we'll take a quick look at whether we got any water inside of the plug here, and it rained pretty good while I was driving around. I don't see any indication of moisture getting inside of the plug itself. So, looking pretty good. There's definitely some moisture still down in this area. So there was water that got in there, but it doesn't look like it actually got inside of the device itself. Actually, it looks like there's a little bit of moisture right in there as well, so definitely the seal did not completely seal it off, but it does look like there's enough pressure where we didn't get moisture into these surfaces, so that's good news. If you're on a rainy day like today here and you're heading downhill, one thing that can happen is the wheels can start getting some slippage with the regen braking engaging, so you may want to disengage that. There's a couple ways to do that. One is to go to and put the car into neutral, so that way when you're going down the hill your wheels won't slip from the regen braking. You have to use regular brakes to be able to slow the car down. So that's number one, put back in drive. The second way is keep the bar for acceleration, deceleration in the center area so there's no regen braking, and then you can use a regular brake to slow down while you're doing that. So that's a little tricky, but I've heard it's doable. The third way to do it is to go ahead and go into the secret menu. So I have to hold the button down here for a few minutes, or 10 seconds actually. And once that kicks in, you have a list of options. So we're going to go from identification, we're going to start roller mode. And if we go into roller mode, of course you get all the error messages as we showed earlier, but also regen braking is not supposed to be engaged. So with the in roller mode, the regen braking is disengaged, so you'll have to slow down with regular brakes instead. There is no regen braking, and you see I'm actually rolling down the hill accelerating without using my regular brakes. So those are the three ways to disengage regen braking if you need to do so. So another feature, let's say that I was in a hurry and I left my car keys in the seat and I ran out, and then I decided, oh, I'm going to lock the car to go to the store. Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't recognize that the key fob is in, well, it does recognize the key fob is inside and won't let you actually lock the car with the comfort access. So pretty handy so you don't accidentally lock the keys in the car. Here's another interesting hidden feature that you might find useful. So if you unlock the trunk, I think people might know that if the car's unlocked, nothing unusual would happen and nothing does. However, if you take your key fob and push the lock button and lock the car, you can still open the trunk and have access to it if the key fob is in your pocket. And when you close it, you get a one flash to indicate that the car is actually locked. Now the other interesting feature is if for some reason you happen to leave your keys inside of the car when the car is locked, and then close the hatch, it unlocks it, plus you get the 3 beeps indicating that the keys are located still inside of the car. So very useful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about user profiles, since there's been some confusion on that as well as to how they work and how it's set up. So user profiles are related to the individual fob keys that came with the car. So if you have more than one, you can configure different settings when you get in the car, such as locking, unlocking profiles, which lights come on, and the configuration of the lights and the colors, the climate control settings, the radio settings, how you have the instrument cluster configured. The programmable memory buttons configuration can be set by the key fob for the different drivers. Volumes, tones, controls displays, your navigation settings, and places where you navigate. Park distance control if you have that. Driving dynamics controls, cruise control settings, and whether you have the intelligent safety enabled or disabled can all be stored by the key fob information. So it is automatically stored per key fob. You just have to set it up so you know which key is yours. So I'm going to quickly go over the settings menu. So in the iDrive, you want to go down to the settings, and once you're in there, you want to go down the list to profiles, and you can click on that, and then you'll see the check mark next to the profile that you have. So in this case, I just deleted the name for the profile for the key fob that's in my pocket. So what I'm going to do, if you go down and you can press the options button when you're in that menu, and one of the selections is renaming the current profile. So I'm going to click on that one, and then you can put in whatever name that you want. I'm going to put in something simple here, and then click OK. So then it stores that name for that associated with that particular key fob. Now you can select your second key fob, which in this case I haven't named, or if you have a guest in the car, you can actually select a guest profile as well. So with key 2, I've set the temperature at 80 degrees, the radio to a Spanish channel, and if you look at the program keys, you can see that 5 is trip computer, 6 is USB audio, 7 split screen, trip computer onboard info. And now we're going to turn this off, and then we'll go to. So now I've re-entered with the main key. I'm going to turn everything on and see what happens. You notice it has reverted back to different temperature setting. The mirror actually moved as well to a different mirror setting. And the radio has gone back to my radio settings, and the programmable keys now, you can see, are different. 6 is weather, 5 is a different radio station, 4 is trip computer. So it has changed those settings. However, it has gone to re-enabling both modes, re-enabling the safety setting for the intelligent safety. So that defaulted to on in both cases for some reason. So maybe a safety feature. Previously, I talked about how you can use the voice controls to control the car, such as, for example, if I push the button down. Vehicle info.
Vehicle info.
Vehicle status.
Vehicle status. Use the controller to proceed.
So I can access various menus in the car without having to go through the eye controller. What I didn't show last time was that if you hold the button down for an extended period of time, you can access Siri. Siri, play text messages.
You have no new messages.
Or Siri, what is the weather?
It's currently raining and 63 degrees. Expect cloudy skies starting tonight. Today's high will be 72 degrees and the low will be 61 degrees.
So you're able to do various menu selections through Siri just by pushing and holding down the voice control button for an extended period of time. It can be very useful if you're not aware of that. Here's another feature that a lot of people are not aware of. It's that the steering column is actually adjustable. You just pull this guy down and you can then pull the steering column back or up as you need to move it to your comfort level. There, pull it out a little bit. So totally adjustable, and then lock it back in place when you've got it in the position that you want. So you can make it to whatever position that you feel the most comfortable with. So I know it's pretty straightforward, but apparently a lot of people don't know about that.